Hello, my name is Amber Kivett. I'm here presenting today with Lifepro Fitness, the different ways that you can use our massage guns for the use of stress and tension relief at home. One of the beautiful things about using these different tools is that you don't have to have a massage therapist handy. You don't have to have an extra person at home in order to use these different tools on yourself. But if you do have somebody at home who may be working on the front lines of working with COVID-19, or you've got somebody who's a first responder, maybe you're sitting at home working a little bit more, or those of you who are battling through the experience of homeschooling, you're starting to develop more tension in the neck, maybe more tension in your low back and in your hips. And so today, what I'm going to share with you is how you can use this amazing device for using at home for immediate pain relief as well as for relaxation and tension release. Today I'm going to be featuring my niece, and we're going to be working primarily above the waist. With many people who are more rounded, working with computers at home, or sitting more often, I'm going to be featuring specifically how to work the upper body and the low back and into the hips, but from a seated position, as I know most of you all might have a chair handy at home, or you can use your couch, or it's just something comfortable, but doesn't require anything other than this tool. If you decide that you're interested in one of the devices that I'm going to share with you, you can select those from any of the tools listed in the carousel below this video. And if you're interested in learning about other techniques and benefits of how you can put the massage gun tools to use in the future, make sure and click subscribe so that you can be alerted if we go live with future learning events. And again, we thank you very much for your time today. And so let's get started. So I'm going to share with you the different features today. We're going to start right here. This is the Sonic LX. This device has 9 different power levels. So it's just very, very simple. We just push on this button and we increase the intensity all the way up to a level 9. And here I am close distance so you can hear. It's not loud at all as compared to a lot of the competitors that we work with. So in turning this down, it goes back to a 1 or a 0 to turn it completely off without flipping the switch on the bottom. This right here is referred to as a dampener tip. So it's made to work around bony areas or sensitive areas, in that it delivers a less intense percussion vibration through the use of the tool as would be a firmer object. It comes with this carry case with organized mold on the inside, and with this you get 7 different tips that you can attach on very easily with one hand, very quickly. It also comes with a wall charger that you can use, and for this specific device, I've been using this device on a daily basis, and I can usually get a week or even 2 weeks depending on how often I'm using it, but I can get a week or 2 weeks of charge off of one full recharge through the wall charger. So you don't have to have an extra battery to switch out. It is instantly charged through the wall. So that is the Sonic LX. Then here we have the Pulse FX. The Pulse FX is a really neat device in that with this, we can push this button right here and it will adjust. The other device I just shared with you does not do that. So it is a fixed angle. This one actually hinges at the head, and very easy to push the button and change the head to different alignments. So you can have straight, we can have a more ergonomically friendly angle for working neck and shoulders, or if you're trying to get into some really tight spaces, just the regular right angle. This one has 3 different levels. Again, very, very quiet. The low level of this one is much more intense than the lowest level of the Sonic LX. So there's level 1, level 2, and level 3, which is quite aggressive. This one comes with 4 different attachment points, and again has an internal battery so you can charge it into the wall, or this one specifically has a charging cradle that while it sits in there, it's automatically charging so that you don't have to plug it into the wall. So it's pretty cool, and that comes with the kit. It also comes with this carry case. It's already molded on the inside for all of your different parts and attachments, and you can carry it along the way. Carry it on an airplane, carry it back to the car, fits in luggage really easy, very easy and minimal to get around with. That one has 4 different heads, and so we have I call this the goalpost, which is used for spinal stabilizers. We've got the point tip, which looks kind of like a missile or a rocket tip, and then we've got a flat head as well as the round dampener tip. And then the last one I'm going to share with you tonight is our newest release, and this is called the Mini. And the Mini, as you can see, is small enough to fit in your desk drawer. So it doesn't take up a lot of room. You can actually fit this into a handbag if you really wanted to. You just push the button to turn it on to activate. And then each time you push the button, You increase that intensity as many times as you need to, but again on this one, very, very quiet. Comes with several different attachment points, very easy to reattach and remove. Doesn't take a whole lot of grip strength on those. And for these, we have a carry kit. It also has a carry strap, so if you want to carry it like a shoulder bag, excuse me, you can carry it on your shoulder. And then it also comes with all these different tips. I know in one of our ads we featured that you can use the massage guns with oil for relaxation, and any of them will work for that, but that one specifically is very easy to maneuver while using essential oils, or if you're wanting to use something to create more glide on the skin, the mini works really, really well for that, and it's really light, really easy to hold. So I'm going to demonstrate all of these on Miss Riley, and what we are going to try and do is demonstrate what would typically be sore from working a long day in a hospital, in a medical office. Maybe you're a first responder, so you're in the ambulance, or you're on runs lifting patients all the time. The first area that comes to concern would be neck, shoulders, and low back. So what I'm going to have her do, go ahead and stand up for me, is I'm going to have her sit with the chair to the side facing this direction so that I can show you how to work her back, her hips, and in all areas with just one seated position. Now what we can do is we can slide the position up further. Bear with me here. And then if we grab a pillow, something that everybody has at home, then what she can do is she can just lay over and relax. Nice and easy. And now we have just opened up all of these different spinal joints, as well as SI joint, as well as where most people experience back pain. So for her, I'm going to start her using this massage gun. Right now, I think in the carousel, this one looks black. This is the original. They're all exactly the same. They just changed and updated the color, I think, on this one, but blue or black, they're both exactly the same. This is the Sonic LX. So we're going to turn it on nice and easy. Start it out on a low level. Make sure that whomever you're working with has an idea if they can tolerate that. So I'm going to place my hand on her first, making contact, so that this is not a total shock to her. And I'm going to start right down here at the low part of her back. And I'm just going to slide little by little, working my way up and down the spine. And in doing this on somebody else, if you are working on somebody at home, you can ask them, does this feel comfortable, or do we need more, do we need less? And based on what he or she tells me, I can increase or decrease the intensity. So very, very easy to do. I'm going to slide this forward just a tad so that you can see, the detailing here, now that we've gone through some of the specifics. So her spine is right here where my hand is, and sacrum falls about right here. So I'm just going to start right here. This is where a lot of people experience a lot of low back pain, or this is where a lot of it starts, is in this SI joint space. And if I feel up higher, I can actually feel this vibration transitioning all the way up. How's that feel? Good. Feeling good. So I'm doubling the intensity just to see how she handles this. So do we like this more, or do we like it not as much? We like this more. Okay. And so I'm going to work all the way up on one side. If we're calming things down and we're working on pain relief, we're just going to work 1 inch per second. So very, very small movements. And then if she wants to drop her head to the side, then we can get up here into more of the neck area. Which is where a lot of people who are working from home right now, working on computers, this is where those areas where things can get really, really tense. And then working down here, her shoulder blade is about right here, so I'm just going to work nice and easy around that. We want to avoid areas that are bony. Bony areas that generally don't feel very comfortable when they're being worked with on percussion movement. Working here to the side, and I can feel this heavy vibration right up in here, which means this area right here is not absorbing that energy very well, so she's very tight or tense down here in her hip. And then we can get into the glutes. And again, all of this without having to actually make contact with her in sensitive areas. So once I make contact with her body, she knows I'm about to approach with some massage effort here, so it's not a total shocker. But if you actually place the massage gun on whomever you're using this with and then turn it on, it's a kind of a shocker, so you don't want to do that. You want to turn the machine on first and then make contact. Now, if we are first thing in the morning, trying to get up, get loosey-goosey, very stiff in the morning, then what we can do, I'm going to demonstrate on this one on me, we go a little faster. So instead of going an inch per second, we're going larger, faster movements, and we're trying to activate. Activate, and we can move the body at the same time that we're activating with the massage gun, and in doing that, we're creating extra mobility in large areas. So you can do this to yourself quite easily. All right, so since you've heard that one, we're going to go and compare the Pulse FX. And I'm going to go to the other side on this one. And this is on low, so this is the lowest level. Making contact, going to start down here in the low back, where her body will absorb this a little quicker than it will if she starts up top. Be very sensitive if we start up in the neck and shoulders. We don't want her body to tighten up at a upregulated sympathetic state where she goes into fight or flight. We want to stay in a nice, calm, relaxed state. How does this one feel as compared to the other one?
It's a lot harder.
This one's a lot harder, a lot more aggressive. So for relaxing, which one feels better for you? Because based on your tolerance, your preference, everybody's a little different. So if you've got somebody with fibromyalgia, they're going to feel much different sensitivity-wise than somebody who has a lot of muscle and works out all the time. So for you, if you were working a long day or you've been studying all day, she's a student, so she's been studying a long day in college and she comes home from classes, being at the library, and she is just really sore in her back, carrying that heavy backpack. What would you want between these two devices?
For relaxing, probably that one.
Mm-hmm.
If I was really sore, I think this one would be better.
So relaxing, she would prefer the other unit. And for muscle soreness or tension, she would prefer something a little bit more aggressive to kind of release those tissues, those muscles, that connective tissue. But for relaxation, so maybe you don't have any pain and you're just trying to prevent pain and you're just activating recovery, flushing lactic acid, and just trying to relax the mind and the body before you go to bed, the lower intensity would definitely benefit that more. If you're somebody who has autoimmune issues and you naturally have a higher pain level and a lower threshold, much more inflamed, then I would definitely choose either the Mini or the Sonic LX for those conditions. For somebody who is, let's say, a firefighter, I work on a lot of firefighters. Firefighters are built pretty strong. They carry a lot of weight, and get into a lot of different compromising positions while out in the force. For those employees, I would go with this one right here because it's more aggressive. It can get into some deeper points, and I would say most athletes or firefighters, police officers, nurses who don't have any autoimmune, this is going to be the one that's going to benefit those individuals the most. Now, when we get into quiet in your desk, trying to carry this around, keeping it in your purse, concealed, don't want your boss to know that you're taking a break. This one's good for that. So I'm just going to push the button to turn it on. Now we got it on. Now we're going to push the button a little bit more. One more, and another, and another, And one more, and now we're back off. So that's how easy it is. Now to pull this off, just like that, and pop it back on. There we go. So I'm gonna use this one on her, and she's already had the other two, so she can give you an idea of how this one feels as compared to the other two. This attachment tip has more of a stainless tip, so it vibrates, makes contact with the tissue, connective tissue. It vibrates different than a regular rubber tip does. I think most people will feel more sensitivity from this one, so if you're wanting something a little more aggressive, this tip is good for that. Really good for those thick, heavy muscle areas, your pecs, lats, quads, glutes. But when we're trying to get into some really small spaces, this is probably not going to be your desired attachment. So let's see what we got. So we're going to turn on. I'm only halfway on right now. And I'm going to go through this one more time with her since we've already experimented here. She's not had any of these tools used on her before in these areas, in this position. So what do you feel with this one?
I feel like it is moving like my whole back, even though it's only one spot.
Okay, so she can feel more vibration all the way up her whole back with this attachment on this intensity. So I'm only half the intensity of the capacity that this unit can apply. And from a relaxing standpoint, what do you feel?
It's very relaxing.
Very relaxing. So you get headaches, yeah? Have you had a headache in the last 24 or 48 hours?
Yeah.
Yep. She's a really, really good student. Okay, and so as compared to what we were just using up here, how does this feel?
It's definitely not as hard, but it does feel good. So.
Not as hard, but definitely feels good. So for somebody who has a migraine headache and can't handle a lot of aggressive pressure, this would be a really good device to use for somebody who has chronic migraines, just to provide a down regulation of that sympathetic nervous system and to calm the nerves down. Not saying that we're going to release any trigger points by any means, but in somebody who has got a migraine, just breaking this connective tissue up and releasing, elongating these muscles is a huge advantage. But with the greatest, with the least amount of pressure, least amount of aggression, with the greatest amount of relaxation, so that we don't send that migraine into a higher level of pain. And then getting into hips, because again, with medical professionals, first responders, moms at home carrying kiddos around, cleaning house, students studying, carrying backpacks, we are working this whole chain. And so this whole chain starts at the bottom of the big toe, comes all the way back upside the hips, right up the spine and into the neck, across to the forehead. But for today, we're just going to work with the booty, the back, and the neck and shoulders. All right, so I'm going to swing around here. We're going to increase intensity a little bit more, and we'll get up a little bit higher here into her shoulders. So again, you don't have to have a strategic position. You don't have to have a treatment table at home. You don't have to have anything fancy. We're just using a dinner table and a dinner chair and a pillow off the couch to get into this position. If you're at your desk at work and you just need to do a quick get loose session with yourself, like 5 minutes tops, you can do all of these areas, including the areas of your arms, which I'll get into that here in just a moment, very quietly, so that few people in your office or in your home know that you're actually using this device. So pretty handy. And again, just working very, very slow versus very quick, because if you're in pain, we don't want to excite that process. But if you're somebody in the morning, or maybe you're getting ready to go on shift, or maybe you're trying to become alert so that you can actually study, a good way to wake up is moving quickly back and forth. So instead of working in very, very slow areas, we're working a greater surface area at a faster rate, with greater intensity in order to upregulate that reactionary nervous system so that you're alert. So you can even use these for alert. If you have trouble with concentration, really easy way to work with those being alert. Okay, I think that's all I want to share with you today, so thank you for working with us. I'm going to share with you how you can work on yourself. So going back to the Sonic LX, and I'm going to use a different attachment tip here. Okay, I'm going to actually use this ball instead of the dampener. So again, it came off really easy. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to prop myself up here into a different chair so you can see my leg, and you can see it close. I'm just working very slowly across my knee. So if I've had a really long day and I just need a little bit of release in my thighs, been doing a lot of bending, a lot of picking up of people or picking up of things, or maybe I'm just tired of sitting. Very, very easy to do this on yourself. All right, and I'm moving in faster strokes because I'm in a big muscle group, and I'm not really ready to wind down yet today. Now the beauty about this is you can also work the IT band. So I'm in the IT band right now. You can vibrate the IT band, really, really good for the connective tissue, but you don't ever want to foam roll there unless you have vibration. All right. Okay, so a lot of people really tight right up here in the neck and in the shoulders. So I'm gonna drop this down a couple levels because I'm a sensitive person. So we're on level 3, and just very easy. Now, if you saw that it's bouncing right there, that means it's a bony area. So avoid the bounce, but I'm not applying any heavy pressure at all. I'm just letting everything float. That's why it just bounced across my AC joint. I try and stay away from the neck region. There's a lot of vascular structures there, and I don't necessarily find good purpose in using the massage gun in the neck, but you can get back here on these paraspinals to the suboccipital area and loosen those areas up. So if you have a tension headache from sitting at the desk all day, it is really easy to get into these areas without straining yourself. And again, this is the more gentle of, this one's got a lot of bang for the buck, really. This one is just as gentle as this one. This one has more levels. This one has greater intensity than this one does. This one is not as quiet as this one is. They both have a lot of attachment points, but depending on how easy it is for you to maneuver with your own hands into different joints, you may like the mini better because it's lighter, smaller, more compact. But if you struggle in getting into some of these mid-back areas, then that's what this one is really good for, because I can really get down there in the middle and I can get up here in the top, whereas with this one, really can't. I'm missing some of that. So depending on what your mobility issues are, and how you're able to maneuver positioning for using this on yourself, and where you're wanting to use it. If you're not having to use it in an office space and you're not wanting to carry it in your handbag, not wanting to carry it in your carry-on luggage while you're in the air, then you have a lot of other options. But this is a great tool for littler hands, for those who have a harder time, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, have challenges with grip. This is not very heavy at all, and it's really easy to maneuver. This one has a longer handle, so the lever, it's a little heavier depending on how you're maneuvering it, but you can maneuver it here at the base of the handle, or a lot of times when I'm working on somebody else, I'll maneuver it like this and just kind of let it float. So if I'm working on somebody's spine here, I'll just slowly let it float back and forth. But this head does not adjust. So then we're looking at our friend here, the Pulse FX. And again, on this one, we can get into a lot of tight areas, upper traps right here. A lot of people carry a lot of tension right there. those muscles get easily aggravated, and the next thing we know, we got a headache. Or you feel the burning, stinging sensation in your shoulders, and it's almost too much pressure just to have somebody pushing on it or using a tennis ball. The vibration of this will release a lot of that. So I can take it across my body. If you have carpal tunnel syndrome or tennis elbow, again, this is the lowest level. So if you're a super sensitive person or you don't need a lot of intensity, then I would look at the Mini or the Sonic LX. The Pulse FX is the most aggressive, higher intensity tool that we have. And again, you've only got 3 settings to work from, and that's incredibly intense. I can get mid-back pretty easy, but as you can hear, it's a lot louder than the other 2. So it just kind of depends on what your setting is. But the cool thing about this, again, is it's got the pivot point. So you just push the button and then you can move the head wherever you want to move the head, or you can go completely straight. So this is another easy way to get down into the mid-back. Or if you're trying to work here in the hips or in the glutes, it gives you more of a lever to work from, a longer handle, and more aggressive application for those muscle groups. You can also take one leg high and get into, for sciatica, if you have sciatica, you can get really deep in here with this one, really easy just by holding the handle, okay? Just very, very gentle, not pushing at all, just kind of letting everything float. All right, so that right there is the Pulse FX. Now, I'm gonna change out that tip, and we're gonna put in the flathead tip, so it's just flat, okay? And on this, I'm just gonna work here along the outside of my arm. On low intensity, just very slow. This feels really, really good. If you notice that you're getting a lot of bounce, you can try the flat tip instead of the round ball. This one doesn't necessarily bounce around as much. It's a little more fluid. You can do this single hand. So right here, I'm getting into the pec major, pec minor. So if you are feeling a lot of tension back here on the back side of the neck, you definitely want to make sure that you're releasing right here on the front of the chest, because these muscles, when they get really tight, they pull the shoulders forward, and when they pull the shoulders forward, then these muscles back here get elongated for a period of time that they're not comfortable with being elongated, and they create that spasming. So if you feel burning sensation, tingling sensation, or sharp pain in the mid-back, especially when you breathe or when you cough, back here in those areas is really good to make sure that we're opening our chest cavity up, and we're loosening up the pec minor, pec major, because those muscles, when they get really tight from sitting at a desk or working with our tablets and our phones all day, can naturally get short from just positioning. And so we want to make sure that we're releasing those. So you can go arm out long. And again, I'm just demonstrating just in general. But you can be in a relaxed position. Maybe you're sitting at your desk chair and you've got your arm relaxed on an armrest. Very, very easy to work in those grooves. If you are stretched out, you're gonna get more superficial. You're gonna get more of the top layers of tissue. If your arm is relaxing to the side, you're gonna get a lot deeper. You can get in there and it'll vibrate in there on a lot deeper level than if your arm is stretched out. So that's an easy way to open up these chest muscles. I know with COVID-19 going around, a lot of respiratory distress that goes with that. Something that I have used this for in years past is if we've got an upper respiratory infection or we've got walking pneumonia, you want to be really careful at home using any of our devices when there's an active acute infection. So as long as you are being treated by your physician, really good, and you might ask your physician if you have had a history of pneumonia or you've got respiratory challenges and there's a chance that you've got pneumonia, ask your physician if a percussion massage would be safe for you. And if they do agree that yes, you can do that, if you have somebody at home, this feels really, really good right here along the back in the rib cage, on a very low level. Because what happens is we have a lot of stuff, a lot of gunk that collects in the lungs, and so it can't mobilize, it gets stuck. And so by using this on a very gentle, very low level, I'm going to change this tip out because we have, with the mini, we have all these cool tips that we can work with. So a lot of different, a lot of variety here to work with. But what I'm going to use either this flat tip or this ball tip. The ball tip would actually, it's kind of squishy, whereas these others are fixed molded rubber tips, so they're going to be a little bit more intense. But when you're working on somebody's lung area, rib cage, you have to be gentle because of the intercostal muscles and because those are real fragile areas in general. But another area that's really good is opening up the diaphragm and working right through here. You have to be careful how far down you go in the viscera. I mean, it's hard to hurt things, but you want to make sure that you're on a low level. But in the diaphragm, you want to place your hand right where your rib cage starts here in the middle, and make sure you keep your hand there and work around that. So you don't want to go directly on it because you've got your, where your sternum comes down, there's a little tip there that if that breaks off, that can be a real problem. So we don't want to do that. We want to be right below that. And you can just follow this around the outside of your rib cage, real easy. It's very, very soothing, very calming. But if you've got somebody who's having a challenge with breathing, or they're having neck shoulder pain, and you've already ruled out a heart attack, or you've ruled out other issues, then as long as you've moved beyond that, you can go very, very gentle, very slow through the rib cage border, and the diaphragm sits right underneath of there. So it's a very calming thing. When we are working with somebody who is experiencing chest congestion, again, this is really good to work right on the backside. Again, the mini is really hard to do this to yourself. But if you've got somebody else at home, not hard to do at all. But that light percussion massage feels really, really good on somebody who's been coughing a lot, or somebody who has started antibiotics or started medication for walking pneumonia. It helps to break up that stuff so you can get it out. If you are doing this at home on your own, again, the Sonic LX would be the preferred device for me personally, because I can get into some of these areas. So if I have pneumonia, which I don't, but if I do, and I've had it before, then I can very lightly run up and down the border of my paraspinals and release some of that tension. There's a lot of connective tissue through there. So just release that tension. Real quick, there's a good chance that you might feel some itching sensation while you're having a massage gun treatment, whether you're doing it to yourself or whether somebody else is doing it for you. If that should happen, that is okay. It is a histamine response more often than not. You're breaking loose a lot of toxicity. Very uncommon to have an allergic reaction to the massage gun. It is possible, but not very likely does it happen. But if you do feel an itching sensation, that is normal for those who have a lot of toxicity that is hiding in your connective tissue. When you release that toxicity and open up those fibers in your fascia, some of that stuff has to go somewhere. And so when you mobilize that, then the body starts seeing it as foreign toxin. And so as we are eliminating that through our lymphatic system, our body has the tendency to itch. So it gets better the more that you do the treatment. So if you should have that happen, reach out to us if you have questions. We've got a great support network. We can answer most questions that are medical related. If you are a special population and you're looking for answers or success stories on how we have used this with individuals who have underlying challenges or a lot of pain. There are certain contraindications for using the massage guns. If you're on blood thinners, you have to be super, super careful because of blood clots and because of bruising. So if you have a medical history, make sure and check out our contraindications list, which is available on the website, and should be available in the printed criteria on the ad there. But really good. This is hands down. If there's one device, this question came up to me earlier today. Lifepro has so many amazing devices for recovery. They have the platform. They have the vibrating foam roller. They've got the vibrating like tennis ball. They've got all these different massage guns, 7 massage guns that you can choose from. If I could only pick one, and I know many of you are struggling at home right now because you are in a different routine, a lot of stress, naturally you're building extra tension, you're off schedule. If there's only one thing that you can afford, get yourself a massage gun. Because hands down, there are so many versatile ways that you can use the massage gun on yourself, on others, different intensities. You don't have to have anything wrong with you. You don't have to have an injury. You don't have to be in pain. You don't have to be under pressure or stressed. You can just use it because the body benefits no matter what circumstance. Connective tissue really likes vibration, and you're not going to find another tool that is as cost effective and is medically evidence-based effective as the Lifepro tools. So again, the 3 that I have featured tonight in this episode is the Sonic LX. We have the Mini right here, and we have the Pulse FX right here. And we have several other, Lifepro has 7 different massage guns. Many of them are available in the carousel below, and many of them, they're running some great specials because of, stock pricing and availability. So again, if you are interested, now is the time to get one because you can use it on anybody. I've got a 9-year-old daughter. I use it at her at home. She uses it on herself. And again, not too heavy, a lot of lever, light, quiet, hard to get into some areas that are a little harder to reach with your hands, and super aggressive. Easily modified through the alignment of the head. So the head adjusts up and down. All 3 of them, the battery life is most impressive. I've had the competitors' models, and these massage guns will last easily if you use them every single day. And if you are a professional who is using your massage gun 8 hours a day, I can use these 2 right here. 8 hours a day, a variety of different clients, a variety of different applications. But every single one, I do a lot of massage, and a lot of my massage clients, I start every treatment with a total body massage gun just as the warm-up. It just breaks everything loose, makes it a lot easier on my hands when I actually put my hands on them for their therapy. So if you're looking for something that you can use in a variety of different locations, different applications, different people that need them, different professions, different conditions, disorders, injuries, pain levels, thresholds, sensitivities, I could go on and on. These devices are bar none the best. So yeah, Sonic LX, Pulse FX, and the Mini are the 3 that are available through this presentation today. You can buy any of the massage guns that Lifepro manufactures. They're all in the carousel below this video. So you can choose from there if you'd like. But now's the best time to get one. If you don't already have one, get yourself one now. and you make everybody in your family happy. You can give back to those in your neighbors who may be needing extra relief. I loan mine out all the time. So it's a great deal. Again, you get the carry case, you get a wall charger. Depending on which device, you get several different attachment tips. The battery, if I run these 8 hours a day, I can last easily a week on running 8 hours a day. If I am not using them 8 hours a day, I know this one before today, because I've been shut down since March the 24th, this one specifically has not been charged in over a month. And I plugged it in for the first time this afternoon for maybe 15 minutes. It was on 1 bar of light battery, and now it's on 2. But I only plugged it in for 15 minutes, and it's had a month charge on it, so it doesn't lose its charge. All the batteries are internal, so you don't have to worry about them if you are carrying them to an airplane, or you can check them on a plane. I have used them. I have taken them on trips to work on athletes. If I'm going to another area, if I'm flying to a different area and I want to have it in my hotel room because of traveling, they're great devices. So if you have questions, reach out to us. We really appreciate your time in watching us today, and hands down, get yourself a Lifepro massage gun, because they're just make your life happy. And because of everything happening right now, you have to find anything to make for positive energy. So all of these will make for positive energy in your home. The one thing I forgot to mention, when you do a massage gun session on yourself or to somebody else, there is a natural release of happy hormones. And those happy hormones, we call those the dose. It is dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Endorphins are your painkiller, your body's natural instinct painkiller. Serotonin is primarily produced in the gut. It's really, really important for mood regulation. Oxytocin is your love hormone, makes you feel good about you, makes you feel like significance. And dopamine is your happy. It can also be your addiction hormone. So if you find something that feels good and you release that dopamine, your body likes that feel good, so it wants more feel good. So all of these massage guns are going to create for a great dopamine release. So you're getting natural hormone release without the use of medication. That's the beauty of these different tools. If you're on medication and you're trying to wean off of different medications with the permission and the assistance of your doctor, your medical professional, these can help in transitioning that difference. And I've used these for a couple of years on a variety of different clients and patients, and everybody has had great results with them. So good luck to you, and we hope that you have the opportunity to try one of these. So thank you so much for your time, and make sure and check out the links below to choose your massage gun. And if you decide that you want to watch further episodes on the platforms or the vibrating foam rollers, make sure and subscribe to our group. Thank you so much.